Welcome in and happy Monday. This is the PHNX D-backs podcast right here on PHNX. My name is Derek Montilla. Of course, I am your mayor of PHNX. This man next to me, just beaming with electricity after this series sweep. It's Mr. Electric himself, Shawn DePaz, and Jesse Friedman, the thunder stick, the polite kind. Get your mind out of the gutter there, Don's bread. Also, my vice mayor, Jesse Friedman. So, guys,
what did Brett do?
What did Brett do?
I think Brett is locked out of his diehard account.
Oh no!
And we need to free Brett. And we will get on that.
Oh,
today.
we are absolutely
we'll
freeing
Brett. We'll make sure that Brett is free today.
We will.
Sure.
Well, I mean, I don't know. They might lock him up at Chase Field, but we have nothing to do with that.
Welcome back, Josh Hunt. Been a minute since we've seen first day back. Already starting the hashtag Free Brett movement.
Yes, the hashtag Free Brett movement. Giselle too. Welcome back, everybody. Great to see you guys. The Arizona Diamondbacks are potentially the best team in baseball. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It feels like that after this series sweep over the Chicago Cubs. It's interesting because this series win puts them over the top in a couple of categories. The D-backs are now 21-19 in one-run games, and they are now 5-4 in extra inning games. So they're just winning all over the place. But this Cubs series win continues to be a good one. And the MLB season now ends in less than 2 weeks. So thoughts now on this last couple of weeks and how things are shaping up?
Yeah, I mean, I think the D-backs started 0-3 in extra inning games, so to be 5-4 now is pretty impressive. I remember we talked early in the season about how the Diamondbacks couldn't advance the runner to save their lives, and they did pretty well in extra innings. Obviously, on Saturday, getting an enormous win in one of the craziest games that I think we've ever witnessed. But yeah, 21-19 in one-run games is good, but it's honestly not that good. I mean, for a team like the Diamondbacks that has, a fairly heavy negative run differential, but is also 7 games over 500, you might expect, the D-backs must be just murdering in one-run games. That really hasn't been the case. 21-19 is solid, but, they've lost a number of tough games this season as well.
When we did that bizarro breakdown from Talking Baseball and they flipped the rankings based on the one-run games.
Diamondbacks didn't change
much. At the time, I think maybe they were just 20-19 or maybe even 19-19 at that time. But the Diamondbacks do need to win some games and not settle for tying the other teams here in the wild card race, because they do not hold very many tiebreakers when it comes to their fellow wild card teams. Right now, the Diamondbacks obviously hold the tiebreaker over the Chicago Cubs after taking 6 out of 7 games against the Cubs in the month of September. But outside of that, things don't look great. They have no more games against the Reds. Their season record with them is 3-4. The Marlins season record is 2-4. The Phillies are 3-4. And the Giants are the only ones that the Diamondbacks can still impact, because they currently have a 5-6 record against the Giants. And they have this upcoming 2-game series that starts tomorrow. That is crucial for more than one reason, because obviously, you want to hold that tiebreaker. So, I mean, it feels more important than ever for them to sweep this 2-game series.
It's funny because I might be mistaken, but I feel like I saw over the weekend that the Cubs are in a pretty similar situation where they only have the tiebreaker over the Reds, I believe. It's just funny how
it works out.
How all of these teams, I was talking about it briefly with Jesse before. It's a suck fest. Everyone, it's a matter of who's going to suck the least. It's really hard to sit here and say that any of these teams are better than the other, and I think that is pretty clear in these the records you just read. It's not like that you're getting swept by these teams.
Yeah,
they're all right around. It's a game difference between them being them having the tiebreaker and them not. Which means the wild card is going to be very interesting. The actual wild card games, obviously the race is already very interesting. But I mean, it's a pretty unfortunate situation to be in, especially seeing how no one's been able to create any separation. It does feel like it's going to come down to some kind of tiebreaker or last day type of thing.
Yep. Which the Diamondbacks have foreseen for a while now. We've heard Torey Lovullo and Brent Strom both talk about this coming down to that final series. And that's not a great scenario for the Diamondbacks, considering that final series against the Houston Astros, who might also be fighting for a playoff spot themselves at that point. So it could be a very competitive series, and you don't want that.
Also, side note, I got one of the worst alerts ever this morning.
Which was?
Are the Red Hot Yankees still alive?
Gross.
Question mark.
They're not.
They're not.
They're
They're
not.
not. But I was just like,
They're
what do we?
absolutely
and also,
not.
red hot. They're like 6-4 in their last 10. It's for the fucking.
I mean, they're
Yankee
just started his day off in the worst possible way.
They're alive in the sense that their playoff odds are, like they are not mathematically eliminated.
Correct.
But there are a number of teams that could say that right now that are not legitimately in this playoff race. So I wouldn't be too stressed out about that.
I'm not that stressed. I was upset. But yeah.
Another funny thing you said is that we can't really rank these teams. It's funny because when they lose, they all lose together.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks win, and you would think that that would have allowed them to create not only the distance that they created by leapfrogging the Cubs, but you would have thought that that would have been able to put some distance between them and some of those other teams. But no.
Then
Instead,
the Marlins want to go.
The Reds beat
the Braves.
Yeah, the Reds beat the Mets in their series. The Marlins kick the damn Braves' ass. But you know what? Just because you said it, let's go ahead and try to rank those teams anyway. Let's just do this. Let's try to figure out who of these teams are, I guess, the biggest danger, including the Arizona Diamondbacks. We don't want to include the Phillies here because I feel like the Phillies are kind of.
The Phillies are on a different
level. If the Phillies were included in the ranking, they would just be number one across the board.
That would be.
We're just going to skip over the Phillies. So this is a ranking of, in whatever order we have, Reds, Giants, Diamondbacks, Marlins, Cubs. It's those 5 teams.
Do we want to do this backwards? Do we want to start with team 5? Do we want to start with team 1? What do we want to do here? You want to start at the top?
I don't know. Shawn has tons of experience with this kind of
Shawn,
thing.
what do you think?
Our ASU show is basically just this is what you guys do,
Shawn.
right?
We don't know.
We usually are drafting. We're not just out here ranking. So this is a little new to me too. Let's go work from the bottom up. Let's keep the people.
Okay.
Body into the.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
save the best for last.
So I guess I will start off here with my worst team in the 5-team wildcard race. I'm going to go with the San Francisco Giants.
Shocker.
Yeah, right there with you.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants and their pitching staff, it's just hard to imagine that the Giants should rank very high here. And I'm also, I'm very willing to put them down right now, considering that the Diamondbacks have to play them here coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think it is much of a question. I'm putting the Giants last two. They just, I mean, it's kind of what we've been talking about with them a lot. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense as to why they are in this race with everybody else. There's weird magic in San Francisco that causes them to outperform.
They're hanging around.
But I don't think they're really that much of a real threat, and that means we're going to get swept by them.
I don't have many notes written for the Giants. I just have they're screwed. That's all I wrote. That is just straight from my notes app.
They're screwed.
Which admittedly is a very bold thing to say because they're still only 2 games out. And I mean, anything can really happen, as we talked about yesterday. Like the schedule that you have the rest of the season, like over such a small sample, anything can really happen. But
and the 2 pitchers that we have going against them are like the 2 worst pitchers on the roster, apparently.
Yeah, Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly, or the bullpen's great. The 3, 4, 5 starters are great, but Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly just can't pull their weight. I mean, the Giants have 7 of their final 12 games, as we talked about yesterday, against the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I know the Dodgers don't have a ton to play for at this point.
The Dodgers are going to lose just to screw over the Arizona Diamondbacks.
I know that, when I was in LA covering the Diamondbacks Dodgers series a couple weeks ago, I was part of a scrum with Dave Roberts at one point, and he was talking about, how the team is going to approach the postseason this year and try to make sure that they don't lose focus. That was kind of the main thing that he talked about. So knowing that and knowing that the Dodgers are, of course, as other teams, like really trying to keep their foot on the gas pedal the rest of the way. And they're going to have a little bit of a layoff going into the postseason, but they're going to try to stay focused. As Dave Roberts said, I don't think they're the kind of team that's going to sit all their players and, just kind of roll over for the next 2 weeks. So I think the Giants have a very difficult road ahead, and they're my number 5 team as well.
That was a very long-winded way to get around to that, but I appreciate that.
Well, especially
I
when
wish you would have stuck with they're screwed. Yeah, we should have just stuck with they're screwed.
I thought it was a foregone conclusion that the Giants were my number 5.
It was very eloquently put, though. Team 4 for me, I'm going to do it. I'm going to say the Chicago Cubs.
Wow.
I know. I'm terrible. I'm a bad human being. But after watching the Diamondbacks sweep them, I'm going to say the Chicago Cubs. I'm going to say they had a good run, but I just don't know if the Cubs have it in them. I don't know if the Cubs have it in them to to overcome this traumatic loss, this series sweep to the Arizona Diamondbacks. So I'm going to put the Cubs there at 4.
I am inclined to put the Cincinnati Reds here. They're another team that I just don't really believe in. I don't believe in their pitching. I think they're a little too young to really be that big of a threat in the postseason.
That's a great point.
Obviously the D-backs are very young too, but they have, I think, a few more like veteran pieces. I don't know, maybe it's just because of the Cincinnati Reds too, but I just really don't believe in that team all that much. They're similar to the Diamondbacks in that, like, this season is an overachievement. I don't think anyone realistically expected, and they obviously came down to earth a little bit more after the Elly De La Cruz kind of run they went on there. But I'm not really bought in on the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, this was really tough for me too. I think the number 5 with the Giants, that was pretty clear, I think. But yeah, this one was tough. I also have the Cincinnati Reds here. But I almost had the Cincinnati Reds at number 1. Like that. This is how close.
I think after the Giants, it's like you could make the argument for anybody being in any of the other 4 spots.
You absolutely could. But yeah, for me, this comes down to the Reds have the easiest schedule the rest of the way, but that just doesn't necessarily mean all that much, given all the craziness that we've seen in the last few days with great teams getting crushed by bad teams and just all this stuff. So it just seems to me that the Reds they're not quite the team that they were a few weeks ago when it really seemed like they were coming on strong. Losing Matt McClain, I think, was a huge loss for them. They brought in Harrison Bader. They brought in Hunter Renfroe. They DFA'd Hunter Renfroe today. Harrison Bader hasn't been great for them offensively. So I think they're gonna fall just a little bit short.
Did we luck out at the waiver wire?
Yeah, I guess you could make that case. The D-backs were never going to take Hunter Renfroe,
but there are a couple of guys that you might be willing to say. It's not good that they missed out on. You never know how those pitchers and others.
Maybe it's good they missed out on Giolito.
Yeah, right. That's who I was alluding to. But, all right. Well, then, for all the reasons you listed, the Reds are my number 3 team. So I'll just say ditto on that. The Reds, I still think, like you said, the Reds have the easy schedule, and that's the one thing that could benefit them. And these teams all just keep being a brand new team, it feels like, from series to series. So it's really hard to determine how any of these teams really fall, like you said, after the Giants.
The Reds do have the tiebreaker over the Cubs. So that is valid. Putting the Reds over the Cubs does make sense, honestly, like just for that reason, with how close things are right now.
I don't know why I want to put the Marlins here. Maybe for the similar reason to the Reds, that they're just the Miami Marlins. But to me, this is a conversation of this is more about, like, I think the D-backs and Cubs are 1 and 2. And so the Marlins are kind of 3 by default.
Sure.
They're good. Obviously, like, them doing what they did against the Braves deserves respect, but, like, the Diamondbacks also have competed against the Braves this year. The Braves are kind of weird. They've clinched the division at this point. So, like, kind of what are they playing for type thing. I don't know how much I believe in the Marlins either. I don't know how much I believe in any of these teams. I guess I should just stop saying how much I believe in them. But, I'm not in there. I'm just not there with the Marlins yet.
Yeah, that's fair. Definitely see where you're coming from. I have the Chicago Cubs at number 3. I think, a lot of this comes down to how well are you playing when it matters most. Yeah. And given recent events, the Cubs are just a really hard team to bet on right now. And I say that knowing that on paper, I probably like the Cubs roster more than I like the roster of any of these other teams. But, they've got the big run differential. Like, there's a lot of evidence that the Cubs are the best team on this list, but they're not hot right now. They are as far from that as you could possibly be, I think, at this stage in the season when it really matters. And that's not to say they couldn't figure things out and they couldn't come around. But after what we saw over the weekend, after, their series with the Rockies, I can't put the Cubs any higher than number 3 at this point. And I knew that if I put the Cubs over the Diamondbacks, I would just get absolutely crucified for that decision. So, and I think that's valid too. I mean, the Diamondbacks have the tiebreaker over the Cubs at this point, and when you go 6-1 against a team head to head, I think there's some good evidence there that you might be the better team at least in a sense.
That's the tough thing about this is I think like you said, you look at their roster and you can easily make the argument that the Cubs are better than the Diamondbacks, but look what the Diamondbacks did against the Cubs. And I think you could do the same thing with the Diamondbacks over the Reds, but Diamondbacks haven't had a good time with the Reds this year. So it's all of these teams have a weird number over another team on it that they're probably not actually better than, but they just have that team's number. Baseball's weird, man. It's just kind of...
I think Elise has a point here. They clinched the division and they had an off night in Miami.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. But like I said, I don't know how much they had to play for.
She's right.
Ronald Acuna was probably getting it in down in South Beach.
Yeah.
Weren't we saying,
not literally?
Weren't we hypothesizing yesterday that Elise was actually Alex Anthopoulos?
Yes.
So this is just Elise making excuses
is just
for her own players.
She's a Major League Baseball GM.
I mean,
that right through
awesome.
your facade, Elise.
She has better information than anybody.
She really does.
Yeah.
She really does. She should be
fair.
on this show. My number 2 team is the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Boo.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing it. There's a good reason though why, and I think that honestly the Arizona Diamondbacks right now, small b, there we go. I got to make sure we keep this what is it, AP correct or whatever. The Diamondbacks are just playing really good baseball right now, and I mean they were able to overcome what probably would have been some pretty bad starts from the 3 pitchers we were worried about pitching in this Cubs series. Torey Lovullo managed his way around that. The bullpen has looked excellent. And I mean, they were just able to find ways to win games, especially that 13 inning extra inning game really changed my opinion about this team and their ability to fight right now. I don't really know if we would have seen this same fight from them at certain points of the season, but man, it really feels like this team is adhering to Torey Lovullo's request of giving him everything for the next 14 days. And the result was that, was that win. So,
yeah, I mean, we kind of already talked about it for all the I think on paper, the Cubs have a better roster. They have a better team. The idea of Marcus Stroman coming out of the bullpen is bullshit. Terrifying to me.
It's ridiculous. It's
such
absurd.
Bullshit. But I can't realistically put the Cubs above the D-backs when the D-backs own the Cubs. So I have to put the Cubs at 2. I know that this is making me look like a homer, but like I said, I think it's a complete toss-up with all the teams 1 through 4, and this ultimately just comes down to, like Jesse was saying, who's playing better right now, and obviously, specifically, the Cubs just play the D-backs, and the D-backs had their number, so I'm putting the Cubs 2.
I think also the Diamondbacks at this point have a better record than all of these other teams.
That's also true. They also
factors into that. So I mean, if you just sort of put the Diamondbacks number 1 for that reason alone, that's honestly pretty valid.
Did I just go with standings on mine? I think I might have.
Yeah, I think you did.
I guess the numbers don't lie. Baby.
Real creative, Shawn.
The numbers never lie.
Very creative, Shawn.
I did. Yeah. So, yep.
That's
Arizona,
Shawn,
Chicago, Miami, Cincinnati, San Francisco. I honestly didn't realize that.
We told Shawn to rank the 5 wildcard contenders out of the Phillies. He looked up the standings and was like, all right, done.
Seems right.
No, that's nice, Shawn. We see how much you care about this show.
Hey, what Chris said. Shawn is right. Hashtag get it trending. Hashtag Shawn is right.
All right. I've got the Diamondbacks as my number 2 team as well. Which I guess, obviously I've got the Marlins then at number 1. The Marlins are just, what they did this weekend against the Atlanta Braves was inexplicable.
36 runs
36
in 3
runs.
games.
And that's the thing, is if the Marlins had beat the Braves, if the Marlins had swept the Braves after the Braves clinched and, they did it, scoring 4 or 5 runs a game every day.
5-1.
Fine, whatever. But the reason that the Marlins haven't been that great this year, for the most part, is because their offense is just not very good. And that has very much changed in the last couple of weeks. The Marlins are all of a sudden scoring crazy amounts of runs. And if you look at the roster, you can kind of understand why. There's some decent hitters on this team, right? Jazz Chisholm is back now. He's been injured for a good portion of the season. I believe he had, I believe he had 2 grand slams over the weekend in that series against the Braves. Luis Arraez, his batting average had dipped all the way to like 340, which was shameful, but now it's back up to 350. So things are looking better for him.
Dipped all the way to 340. What a bum.
What a bum.
I mean, it is crazy. Like in the first half of the season, Luis Arraez rode to 400. I mean, that was a pretty big thing for a while there. But Nick Fortes, catcher for them, has been hitting really well. As also Jake Berger, who we've talked about a lot, coming over from the White Sox.
National Burger Day.
Is today National Burger Day?
Yeah, today is National Cheeseburger Day.
I think you get a free. There's all kinds of special deals
on apps and everything. Yeah, you get
50-cent
cheeseburgers from McDonald's.
It might be like Mickey D's Day, Jesse.
It might be one of those.
This is my day, by the way.
Yeah. But yes, Jesse and I both have the Marlins at number 1. The other important thing about the Marlins is they do hold the tiebreaker over the Chicago Cubs and the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they actually did not lose a tiebreaker to any of the other teams. The other teams in the race, they have split the season series with. The Giants, they are 3-3. The Reds, they're 3-3, and everybody else.
Similar to the Diamondbacks, the Marlins definitely feel like a massive benefactor of the new schedule this year. Not having to play that division as often as they normally would have had to, I think, definitely. Although that being said, they obviously just handled divisional opponent, the Braves. But I mean, by and large,
the East isn't that crazy of a division.
Well, I mean, they've got 2 teams above them in the playoffs.
He's not wrong, Jesse. They are 11-2 against the Washington Nationals. I mean, that's ridiculous.
So, but that's kind of it goes against my argument.
Yeah, that would mean you'd want to play more games against the NL.
No, I'm sorry.
Obviously, every team has that. We have the Rockies, but we also have the Dodgers. They have the Braves. I think the Phillies are a decent amount better than the Giants.
The Nats were hot,
and the Nats were hot. The Nats were in the. I mean, they were playing better than the Yankees for a lot of the year. Unnecessary shot at the Yankees.
It's fine. Well, we figured that was going to go.
Yeah, but I mean, I have the Diamondbacks as my top team. Yeah. I just think between the bullpen pitching well, the fact that as of right now, it seems like the biggest question mark are their 2 best pitchers, which seems like the most likely thing for them to kind of be able to bounce back from is if you're asking me to bet on Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly figuring it out versus them sucking for the rest of the season, I'm going to bet on them figuring it out. Yeah. I mean, when you have, I really think like the addition of a guy like Tommy Pham, like I know this was a joke for me for a while, but I feel like if teams want to be good, you do need that guy who feels like he can just show up and win a World Series MVP or a playoff MVP type thing. And like, it just seems like they have those extra guys who can, if Lourdes has a good day or if Tommy has a good day, then like they become a very hard team to beat. On top of if their normal suspects are performing, and like this is on top of Christian Walker not necessarily being Christian Walker as of late, things like that. I mean, I just love this Diamondbacks team. I love Gabby Moreno, Mr. Diamondback. I just this team just seems like kind of like they want it more than anybody else right now.
I mean what you said about Gallen and Merrill is big because the Diamondbacks have. 11. I think we decided it's 11 games left, right? Yeah, 11 games left, and I believe 6 of those are going to be started by Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen. So you have the majority of your games the rest of the way, in the hands of one of your top 2 starting pitchers. That's a pretty good place for the Diamondbacks to be. I obviously, as we said earlier, I have the Marlins as my number 1 team, and that honestly is primarily because the Marlins have the tiebreaker over the Diamondbacks, and those teams are half a game apart in the standings right now. Yep. But I mean, they're
10-5 this month as well.
Yeah, there are valid reasons I think to go with either team. But I mean, it is a little crazy that with this new playoff format where we don't have a game 163 to determine tiebreakers. I mean, those Diamondbacks Marlins games were played in April and May.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't even remotely on the radar back then that the outcome of those games could determine whether the Diamondbacks make the playoffs or not. But that's the reality of the situation. It is not all that unlikely that the Diamondbacks and Marlins finish tied in the standings. If that happens, that's what it's going to come down to.
I miss 163. I like that more.
I get that.
Breakers.
It's just tough when you have when you add this additional layer to the first round
because
we only have so much time for all.
I
these
mean,
games.
I understand why they don't, but I would rather a game decide it.
Padres and the Rockies play like a game 163 that ended in a walk-off in 2008 or something like that, and it was just absolutely electric. I mean,
Could you imagine a Gabby walk-off in game 163?
Yeah, it would be the coolest thing ever.
There is something special about a one-game playoff, and I know they decided they didn't want that in the wild card round, which I think was valid. But, if it's being used as a tiebreaker for the 162-game season, I think that was the one acceptable, we can stomach a one-game playoff for that. And you're right. We no longer have that as a result of the new system.
Although, it's easy for me to say that now. But if if we're playing game 163 against the Marlins and we throw Zach Gallen out there and then he gets rocked, I'm going to be like, this is bullshit. Why is it coming down to
it's stupid. It's coming down to
one have a bad day at any point. It's bullshit that we have to, Gallen has one bad day and now we're out of the playoffs.
Yep.
But
yeah, that's not at all unhinged at all, but I'm with you on that.
Should we summarize our top 5 list real quick? Just if people are listening, I feel like it's probably hard to keep track. Yeah. So mine was, I have Giants 5, Reds 4, Cubs 3, Diamondbacks 2, and Marlins 1.
Yeah, I had D-backs, Cubs, Marlins, Reds, Giants. May or may not be the exact order of the standings.
And then I had Marlins, D-backs, Reds, Cubs, Giants. Jesse and I had everything that's the same except the Reds and the Cubs there flipped. So stop copying off of me, Jesse.
You guys are wrong. It's fine.
Anyway, we thank you guys for being here in the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Even those of you threatening to come down to the studio with a baseball bat and not and handle me, we appreciate you guys being here. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss when any of our shows go live. Leave us a thumbs up. We always appreciate that. Attaboy. If you're listening on the audio podcasting side, please leave us a review. We always appreciate that, and subscribe there as well. Of course, we have to give a big thanks to BetMGM, and if you have not placed your first bet with MGM yet, you should do so. Use our bonus code of PHNX over at the BetMGM Sportsbook. Just wager through their mobile application, one wager of at least $10, and you will receive $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. All you have to do is download that app, sign up and deposit at least $10 into your newly created account. Make sure you use code PHNX when you sign up. Place a wager in the amount of at least $10 at a standard odds price, and you will receive those $200 in bonus bets regardless of the outcome of your wager instantly. Of course, college football, NFL, it's every day is a fun day to be on the BetMGM app, and especially here with these wild card races being so exciting at the end, it's also fun. Remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's more fun when you bet on it. You sign up for BetMGM, use bonus code PHNX, place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile application of at least $10. You will receive those $200 instantly in additional winnings regardless of your wager's outcome. Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shane, who we miss dearly, talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
I know we talked about it already, but I want a cheeseburger.
I absolutely want a cheeseburger. I need a cheeseburger for lunch.
It's National Cheeseburger Day in Canada too. Real Deal Prime is like my favorite person ever. Sabres fan that watches our shows. Got Rick Jenna as a profile picture.
I'm conflicted though because I have Burrito Express here at the office, and that's all I need. It's the only meal I need. Burritos really are the perfect meal in my mind.
I haven't had mine yet today.
Oh man, there's some good choices in there. They have a chicken breakfast supreme burrito, which I love chicken burritos.
Hey, bean and cheese.
Breakfast.
Nice and simple, can't go wrong.
Never. You can never go wrong with a bean and cheese. Make sure to check out Burrito Express. They have multiple Valley locations, but of course, their Tempe location is the OG. Big thanks to them for not only the food they provide to us, but for everything they do for the community. They support ASU athletics, and of course, they even sponsor some ASU athletes. So make sure to grab a burrito and follow Burrito Express on Twitter at BurritoEXP. Twitter. On Twitter. I'm just calling it Twitter from now on. At BurritoEXP. Of course, You guys know what day it is. Every month on this show. Wait, first of all, every year on this show is our year, right?
Yeah.
Every month on this show is Neck Health Awareness Month. Didn't know if you knew that or not. But every show,
I could use
every
some of
month. Yeah, it's absolutely Neck Health Awareness Month. Shout out to Roderick Strong and Mike Bennett, and not that Melvin, Matt Taven, but also it's a wrestling thing, guys. I'm just going to push through it. Also, every week on the show, of course, is Shark Week. Every day on this show, Earth Day. But on Mondays, you know what we do around here. We go to the mailbag. Damon, shall we?
My mailbox, always something interesting in my mailbox. I try to get to everything in my mailbox, and then once in a while there's a letter that makes me go wow, wow. My mailbox.
Yes, the Twitter. What like Jesse said, what our friends from PHLY would call it.
I don't know. They say water, right? That's a thing. They say gas.
That is.
But I don't know. Twitter is probably a little over the top. We probably don't.
It's more of a Boston.
Yeah, more. That's more of a Boston thing.
Yeah, that's a different
from
one.
BSTN coming soon. I don't know. I'm just making that up. What do we got,
That's
Damon?
genuinely one of my favorite pastimes, by the way. It's just coming up with acronyms for random cities.
Yeah, that would get the vowels out.
I'm not sure any of them work as well as BSTN either. I think that's the cleanest
But
one.
the problem you run into with certain cities is that, like,
it's
the
not
acronyms
possible.
are established. Like, they use it, like in Buffalo, for example, BFLO is a company already.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you'd
Good
have
luck
to get
with
real
that.
creative.
We're not going to Buffalo though.
No, probably not. You don't want to talk about Buffalo Bandits lacrosse? Excuse me, national champion Buffalo Bandits lacrosse.
Here we go. First question comes from Danson Rick at Gift Kingsbury, which is a great Twitter name. And Danson Rick asks, "Are we a wagon?" Yes, Rick, we are a goddamn wagon. You knew the answer to that when you
next
asked
question.
it. You just wanted us to confirm.
YES.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. We're a wagon. Jesse can't confirm that, but we'll confirm that for him. Can confirm we are a wagon. Next question comes from Bill, who's here in the chat. Bill reiterated his question in the chat. Bill says, "What are the chances Hazen leaves D-backs for Red Sox?" We need to have a talk, Bill.
I'm
I don't feel like you were here last night because we covered that, and I don't mean to call you out here publicly, but
I think that's exactly what you're doing.
is it? All right. Well, I am. I guess I am. No, I mean, of course, it's all in the Diamondbacks kind of camp. I mean, the Red Sox can want Mike Hazen all they want. It doesn't mean that they can have.
There are a
him,
lot
right?
of things that I want.
There's
that I can't
a lot
have,
of
you know.
things. You know, this guy wants that Bronco Big Ben SUV. He's never getting that, ever, never. But it's nice to want. It's okay to want. You're just not.
I feel like I should recuse myself from this conversation.
Probably, you should probably do that.
Just I was talking about it with Damon earlier, like, because Damon likes to give me shit like I'm still a Red Sox fan.
Because you are.
As if
I am a Red Sox fan, but I'm a bigger Diamondbacks fan. Because my initial reaction was like, man, stay your ass over there. Stay on the East Coast. We're trying to.
You had him and you didn't want him.
We're
and he's
trying
ours
to
now.
accomplish something over here. Don't get your ass in the way of this.
Yeah.
It's finally looking good, and you're gonna come over and fuck this up because you're the Boston Red Sox.
Waving
Get out of here.
Waving your money.
Get
and
out
your,
of here.
And
You
your
couldn't pay
payroll in
Mookie.
his face.
You're gonna send Mookie to this division and then come take Mike Hazen from us. Go fuck yourself, Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, that's a great point. You're not sending Mookie here to the NL West and taking Mike Hazen back.
No,
it doesn't
we're
work that
trying
way.
to accomplish something. I don't want you getting in the way.
I owe you an apology, Shawn. I wasn't familiar with your game.
Yeah, thank you.
No.
I don't want. Stay your ass over there.
I will say it is funny that the Diamondbacks were allowed to pluck Mike Hazen from the Red Sox organization, and now the Red Sox are knocking on the Diamondbacks door.
And
They're
they just have to be like,
can,
nah.
can we have him back?
Nah,
Like, we're
fam.
having a little bit of
We're straight.
remorse over our
Click.
decision.
Chain on the door.
No, but
Close the curtain.
as we said yesterday, the Diamondbacks hold the cards here as far as we know. Mike Hazen is under contract through 2024 and has a team option for 2025, according to Buster Only. So if anything, it seems like this could be used as leverage for Mike Hazen to negotiate a long-term deal
That's
in
probably
Arizona.
what's fun.
Yeah.
Seems pretty unlikely he would depart for Boston.
I think that was Elise's idea too, and of course Elise once again, just outing herself as an MLB GM once again. But what else we got? Aaron Hughes in the on Twitter, on Aaron R. Hughes. He says, "Would you rather trade for a reliever, someone like Foley, or a third base bat? The bat costs more but fills a bit need. Reliever adds depth and can get high leverage outs." I guess, I mean, trade, pick up at free agency, whatever you would say here. I feel like at this point, the third base has been a sore point. I mean, I think they've proven that the Diamondbacks can find relievers, and so far, the scraps that they've kind of picked up have worked out so far, not to mention even members of this bullpen that were struggling at one time have kind of turned things around. So I don't know if the reliever thing is as big of a need as third base, and especially a big bat for this lineup that goes fairly quiet at times as a whole.
Yeah. I mean, third base for me, like if I'm playing the show with the Diamondbacks, like my first move is signing a third baseman in free agency.
Yep.
Or acquiring a third baseman in some way.
Sure.
It seems like it's the most glaring hole. I think when you're trying to attack a bullpen, like it's kind of a crapshoot, especially when this bullpen is already kind of producing right now. So like I feel like the third baseman is the biggest. Like if you can go out and get, I mean, I'm just saying Matt Chapman because I know he's a free agent. Like if you could do that, then this team becomes like significantly better in a way that like basically no bullpen arm is possibly going to be able to improve your team by. Like if you give a real everyday third baseman, then this team becomes way better in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron's question is, would you rather trade for a reliever or a third base bat? If we're talking specifically trades, the D-backs just aren't going to get the third baseman they need in the free agent market.
That's fair. Yeah.
It's just, I mean, they're just not likely to sign Matt Chapman, and after that, it's pretty slim pickings. I think they're gonna have, if they address that third base need, which they should, right? I'm sure they're going to try. That's going to have to come via trade. There just isn't another option. Whereas, I mean, Jason Foley would be a solid addition for them. But on the reliever market, you can address that via free agency. Matt Moore is a free agent, right? Josh Hader is a free agent. There are guys out there that could be had for the Diamondbacks, whereas I just don't see a third baseman out there for them. I think they're going to have to trade for that.
Next question, Damon. Next question comes from the Fox at the Adam 027, and he says the D-backs are undefeated since the start of the new year, 57-84, 3-0. That's not a question. That's the tweet. This is all we needed for the D-backs to find their rhythm again. Okay, so first, Shana Tova. Is that right to you, Adam? And yeah, I don't know. The D-backs, maybe this is their year. We said every year. That it is our year, right? That's how we said the mailbag.
I feel like
Monday
we should clarify it's Jewish New Year.
It's a Jewish
Rosh
New Year.
Hashanah, right?
Rosh Hashanah. Yes.
Because I don't know if you're not familiar with Jewish culture, you have no idea what anything part of that tweet.
Correct. Which we were expecting Jesse to fill us in on, and Jesse just
I'm half
Jesse
Jewish,
Friedman
and my dad is going to be utterly ashamed. But yeah, for people who were confused about like, wait, when did the calendar flip to year the 5,784? Yeah, it's a little different. It's a little different. Yeah.
All right, what else we got, Damon? AZ Sports Girl 224 says, will Paul Sewald ever pitch a smooth ninth inning for once and not give D-backs fans a heart attack?
Where's the fun in that?
I mean, this is a great television, is it not? Is this not thrilling?
Like, no, to
storytelling?
Answer the question, no, I don't think he ever is. Every save opportunity is going to be.
We already said that he's like big dad energy. Like he took a wrong turn on the freeway and he's going to figure it out.
But he's not asking for directions.
Yeah.
You're going to have to just deal with it. And don't you dare say shit to your dad because he's going to figure it out.
Yeah, no, he's just going to he's going to ignore you the first couple of times, and then he might get angry that you actually dare question him, even though you know he's lost. No,
in Paul Sewald's defense, he threw a 1-2-3 ninth inning 2 days ago. So
what do you want? What do you people want?
It wasn't a safe
what more
situation.
Do you want than that?
We still have yet to see a 1-2-3 save conversion. That has not happened.
I was going to say the story of the relievers this year is them performing in in low leverage situations. Yeah. Do it when when you're only up 2 runs in the ninth.
There are forces working against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and no man has been strong enough to withstand them until Paul Sewald came around. Yeah, sure. The door's breaking. He's doing everything he can to hold it back, right? It's like zombies busting in. But he keeps that goddamn door shut most of the time. On occasion, we all get eaten alive by zombies, but most of the time, he keeps that door shut. So I don't know what to say other than, what do you want? Do you not want drama? Do you not like heart palpitations and all this other stuff that this team gives you in the ninth inning? No. But anyway, no, the answer is no. What else we got, Damon? Jacob asks a very good question at Jacob Schultz too. Jacob Faj is also walking through here, so things just got very confusing here for a moment. But Jacob asks, and not that Jacob, not the one that works
Jacob
here,
Schultz.
different Jacob. He asks, if Damon Dog has a dog and PHNX D-backs are Damon's dogs, does this mean the dog is your sibling? The question is absolutely yes. The dog's our brother.
The real
sister.
questions.
I thought
These
we were
are the
gonna
real
be,
questions.
I thought it was going like we'd be Damon's dogs.
Damon's dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we also are. Also, will a sweep of the Giants kill them off finally? Yes. The answer is yes. The Giants right now are on that bubble of being around those other teams that are out of it. Not eliminate them. He doesn't mean like actually eliminate them, but will it be the nail in the coffin?
I mean, it ultimately depends on what the other teams do. It'll be, as far as we're concerned, it seems like beating them will give them enough cushion where we won't have to worry about the Giants. But I mean, if all the other teams lose and the Giants are very much still in the playoff mix, but
it's very true.
I mean, honestly, like, I don't give a shit who makes the playoffs outside of the Diamondbacks. Like, whatever other teams want to make it, go off. As long as the Diamondbacks do their stuff.
That's the big thing, is the Diamondbacks really do control their own destiny. So it's like you can't control the rest of the things that happen. That is outside of their control. But the Diamondbacks have the ability here. I mean, this is a competitive 2-game series, obviously, with the Giants. It's not going to be easy to beat any of the 3 teams they have left after the Giants. But it doesn't mean that they can't do that and thus at this point control their destiny into the playoffs.
I don't think
they don't have to wait for someone else to lose a whole bunch in order for them to be
I don't think it necessarily kills the Giants off. It more gives you like a
propels the
I mean, the Giants would be in a pretty tough spot.
Yeah,
I mean,
but again,
they're already
if the other teams also
out.
lose 2 games, then it doesn't matter, and that's
true.
basically how this wild card.
No,
thing has
you're
worked all
right.
year,
That is how it seems to be. Like everybody loses together, everybody wins together.
And also, again, on that same note, zero reason to believe that the Diamondbacks are going to manage to win both of these games. Like, that's not how this season has worked out.
There's too much in their favor. It's
exactly.
You got Gallen and Merrill.
Like, there's also too much on the line.
Go wrong.
There's no way that you win both of these games.
Absolutely.
Let's go win both of these games.
Yeah, let's prove us wrong. Prove us wrong. Prove us wrong. That's all we ask. By the way, if you guys haven't had a chance to stop by Circle K, we've been talking about their brand new membership program, but I'm going to tell you right now, you could wait in long lines for those few gas stations that are very cheap, but Circle K already has cheap gas. You become a member of the Inner Circle and you will get 25 cents off your first 5 fill-ups per gallon. And that is quite the savings. And like this man said, it's incredibly gratifying to see that 25 cents come off. So make sure to check that out. The membership program is free and you can get it right now by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for details. They also have an entire section filled with deals. They also give you 5 free Polar Pops, just free. No buy one, get one free. You just get 5 free Polar Pops.
And this is
just as becoming part of the Inner Circle.
I don't understand how they're making money. And I feel like at some point they're going to realize, damn, we're just giving away free shit. We need to stop. But take advantage while you can.
Yeah. Stuff like this isn't around forever. You know what I mean?
Before they realize.
Before they
robbing them blind. Get into the Circle K Inner Circle.
We definitely suggest checking out the Inner Circle. But
I do wish the Inner Circle applied to like everything. Like you could just go in a Walmart and you just like
don't worry, I'm in the Inner
part of the Inner Circle.
Sorry, sir.
The price on the Walmart tag just like goes down by 25 cents.
You get one, buy 5, get one free.
I would exclusively use other gas stations for gas. I'd be like, yeah, I'm taking your gas, but
I'm using their discount.
I'm using their discount. I'm going to screw you over. We ride for Circle
K. Also, speaking of sponsors we ride for, check out our friends at Pins and Aces, who is the official golf apparel partner of PHNX and ALLCITY.
More like drive for. Get it?
I do, and I know Max is gonna love it. Which
that was some real Max type shit.
That is Max level humor.
Enough,
and I hate it. Anyway, we do love our Pins and Aces gear. They made some incredible shirts, not just for us. CHGO also got their little foam finger guy. Do we know what CHGO's foam finger guy is called, by the way? Like ours is Phoenix. Do we know what theirs is called?
Oh, how about Phillies?
How about Philly?
I don't know.
I don't know, but
wasn't the original DNVR was just Nux, right?
Yeah.
So I think Phoenix was only made possible by the fact that it works so well with the name of the city.
It really
right?
is.
They just can't
those
do that.
Other ones can be whatever, but they're not as cool as our guy. And our guy appears on one of those Pins and Aces shirts. They make amazing polos. Again, I said this before. They're not just for the golf course. They are for everywhere. They make hats, golf bags, and even our favorite thing, beer sleeve. Again, not just for the golf course, for everywhere. But they are a family-owned golf and apparel business. Make sure to check them out at pinsandaces.com. You can use code PHNX to receive 15% off your first order and get free shipping at pinsandaces.com. That's code PHNX. Got some more Mailbag Monday questions. Damon, what do we got? Next question comes from Yoshi, Piece of Yoshi on Twitter, and he asks, would you forgive the Mets if they took one of the remaining series from the Marlins? Who do you see as the biggest two threats to take the 2 and 3 spots other than us? Well, we rank those for you, so we took care of that. But I would absolutely forgive the Mets if they could take, because they have 6 games against the Marlins, and if they could, they could sweep one of those series, that would just be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at the Mets. The Diamondbacks didn't do their job. Like, it's their job to win baseball games.
They won 1 game against the Mets. I am very bad about the Mets.
I'm mad about the Mets, but not at the Mets.
Oh.
The Mets did to the Diamondbacks what the Diamondbacks did to the Cubs. Yeah. 6 out of 7.
Yeah, if they want to come help us out, by all means, I'm not going to complain about it.
We'll take it. We will take it. What else we got, Damon? Ryan Hanley asks, what is the top 3 burger spots? Could be fast food or restaurant.
Totri knows what I'm about to say. Top three burger spots in Arizona. I know what's up.
He said top 3 burger spots
in Arcadia.
The Stand is incredible.
I actually went there not that long ago.
Fucking good.
The Stand is incredible.
So good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was like pretty good, but I wasn't.
You're wrong.
I think it was the fries, though.
The fries.
I don't think the fries were very good.
They're not good.
Yeah, but the burger was very good from what I remember. Yeah.
Shake there goes crazy. Yeah. No, the Stand in Arcadia on Indian School, it goes stupid. Otherwise, listen, I haven't had Chuck Box before. So I have
not had Chuck Box either.
I don't know anything about it.
You haven't had Chuck? Are you fucking shitting me?
I didn't live in Tempe.
Oh my God.
I only was here for grad school. I've never lived in Tempe. So I don't know much about what's going on in Tempe. I was going to say, I don't know if there's a hot take. Give me Five Guys and Shake Shack. Those 2 burgers are goated.
No, Five Guys is very, very good.
Both of those burgers go insane.
The complaint with Five Guys is you go up there, the sign says $5 and some odd cents for a burger. You add some toppings, you get a drink, and next thing you know, your bill is $42.75.
It is expensive as hell.
And you're like, how did
we get here?
You also have to chop that off.
Where is the path to get us here? I get that you filled the bag up with fries, but why are we there?
Their fries are gas.
Yeah.
The Cajun fries they have go stupid. But the Stand is amazing, but
I'm gonna get my 3.
No, go for it.
I'm gonna get my 3. Fucking coming in at number 3, Lenny Burger. Lenny Burger is incredible. It used to be right down the street from our old office. Lenny Burger is a local legend.
I think Ryan is on board in the chat.
We have Lenny Burger followed by Doghouse. I know Doghouse. I know Doghouse is a hot dog place.
I haven't had the burgers.
Their burgers are incredible. They come on
Hawaiian rolls. Dude, they could have made it out of dog meat, and I'm eating it on Hawaiian roll.
He's not wrong.
I love Hawaiian rolls.
Dog meat at the right temperature.
I have no interest in it. I'm just saying, if you put something on a Hawaiian roll, I'm gonna eat it.
And then I don't know if it has to do with the drinking. It probably does, but Chuck Box comes in at number 1 for me. I've had too many wonderful, absolutely fantastic.
No free ads. How many times?
We're ranking burgers in town, Matt.
This whole segment was free ads.
Go get us a burger sponsor then, Max.
Go talk to the Stand on Indian School, and then we won't have this issue.
Bring me Lenny Burger, Max. All right.
Isaiah's also wrong. Shake Shack burgers are so good. Also too expensive, but their burgers are amazing.
Especially if you get the one with the fried mushroom that's filled with cheese in it.
I haven't done all that.
Fucking incredible.
They're good burgers. Yeah. I just like them.
Do you have any input here?
I second what a lot of the Stand I did think was good. Chuck Box is on the list of places to try.
I'll have to go.
Doghouse, me and Derek hit up like before a Diamondbacks game, I think at one point, and it was very, very good.
These are all
I mean,
great
that
options.
honestly, I think we covered all the one. Five Guys. I'm a huge fan.
I've told this story, but when I was in San Diego for Comic-Con, my friend Megaran was on kind of like an all liquid diet he was doing, so I was on my own to eat, and I had to go find something to eat, and everything around the area was very full and packed and expensive. So I just wound up in the lobby of my hotel at their bar. And I asked if there was anything good, and the guy looked at me without a shadow, like without hesitating, goes, "Get the cheeseburger." And I was like, "A word?" And it was seriously one of the best. And then it came completely plain, no sauces on it, no anything. And he was like, "I know what you're thinking." He goes, "Before you put anything on," he's like, "I'll bring you ketchup wherever else you need, but before, try it. Just try it." Like, and it was so juicy and incredible and perfectly made. It made me realize that the perfect cheeseburger can be made with nothing on it, and it can be incredible. But
I have to give
that's difficult.
Props to one of the best culinary experiences of my life, an Irish pub in Montreal that I went to a few years ago. I had this burger called the Titanic. It was like $20 Canadian, but it had like pastrami and like fried onions and shit on it. Probably the single best burger I've had in my entire life was at some random Irish pub I stumbled upon in the streets of Montreal.
Honorable mention dollars.
Honorable mention
to 18 here, but it's got like a burger with like literally a whole other helping of like pastrami on it, and it came with like fries and shit. It was worth it.
Jesse, sometimes good burgers are expensive. I don't know what to tell you.
And it's also the Canadian dollar's a little weak, or at least it was back then, so it wasn't 20 American.
Cold Beers and Cheeseburgers has a Juicy Lucy. I believe it's called the Randy Johnson. Or the big units. I think the big unit. I got to give them props. It was better than the Juicy Lucy I actually had in Minnesota, which is where the Juicy Lucy originated. So just throwing it out there. They have a pretty good one over there.
I just want to shout out my favorite bar, which is Mackenzie's Midtown Tavern, and they have everything on the menu is good.
How much did they pay you for this, Damon?
They didn't pay me at all.
I'm telling Max he's going to be furious.
I had a residency at that place when I used to live in my old apartment. They were like, "Oh, Damon's here. That's his table. Get him sat over there. What do you want?"
It was actually Damon's registered home address.
How
like the IRS.
Box was there.
I had like all of his bills and tax documents there.
How about just like fast food burgers though? Like
Wendy's is my number one fast food burger. I love Wendy's. I love Wendy's so much. Listen, just because I can get Wendy's everywhere, and whenever I need, I just need it. I don't care. I'm not saying it's good. It's just my favorite. Yeah. Right?
No, I mean, honestly, that's how I feel about McDonald's. Yeah. Like, I just love a McDonald's cheeseburger. I don't care if it's McDonald's. Like, I just love a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Yeah, just the little
it's
guy.
Great.
Yeah. No,
I mean, I like In-N-Out. I get that people think it's overrated.
Oh, I love it.
But I think that's just because In-N-Out's got such like a cultural thing to it that people forget that at the end of the day, it is just a fast food burger.
It's just a really affordable.
It's just when you put in the price,
burger.
Make it animal style, like it's solid. I love McDonald's burgers.
Animal style fries are so incredible.
Animal style fries are
incredible. All right, what else we got, Damon? I'm hungry now. Now I'm hungry. Gabriel asks, "I'm conducting a study. Have you seen this rat?"
If you aren't watching on YouTube, go to the YouTube so you can see what we're looking at.
If you're on the audio side, there is an image of Rat Leon, and it says, "Ever dream this man?" And has a whole thing about if you've had dreams about this man to contact thisman.org, which that's terrifying.
What's the story behind the rat? Because Jesse and I were.
Yeah, I'm just really confused.
What's the rat?
Okay. So the Diamondbacks were in the midst of one of their historically bad losing streaks that they had.
Know who that is
I think they lost 9 out of 10. And during that season, their official hashtag was Rattle On. And in an attempt to kind of make a joke out of it, they gave birth to Rat Leon.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks did this?
The Diamondbacks
I was just having this conversation with
So there was an actual rat
before.
Dressed up, just walking around the concourse at Chase Field.
That's so cool.
And if I'm not mistaken, this was during the pandemic year. So there weren't any fans in the stand. There was just a giant rat out kind of in left field.
That's crazy.
And then, yes, like Chris says, that rat later jumped in Gerald's bag during a live show of the PHNX
show.
Same
rat?
It was the same rat. Yeah, it was crazy. He shrunk down.
Also, if you actually follow the URL that was on that, you get to a very creepy.
It's terrifying. I don't even want to.
Stuff like that unsettles me.
Just about all these people having the same dream about
the
some
same creepy man.
Fucking creepy man. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. And
that's horrifying.
And that man is Rat Leon.
Isn't that terrible? Damon's face.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Elise says it best. Rat Leon was truly one of the most bizarre moments in D-backs history.
There was a time, though, when we really could have used a rat.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
we really needed like a rally.
This guy, he loves calling people a rat bastard.
I
So
do
much
love
so I call people rat bastard.
So
now.
much so that when I say rat bastard, Max is like, you called?
It's like it's catchphrase. To put it on his shirt over at the PHNX
Because Max
locker.
is a rat bastard. That wasn't clear.
It's also still weird to me that we have a bobcat as a mascot. Like, I know his origins. I know Jay Bell's son named him back or created the idea of a bobcat, but still, I don't know. I saw speaking of PHLY, I think the soccer team has a mascot that is a snake, and he's kind of adorable, and I kind of love him. And it's just a snake. It's with arms and legs, but still a snake.
And that is
So it's a lizard.
a lizard. Yeah,
you're gonna have to take that up with them.
any
That's
reptile,
gonna take
not
that
a
up with I think the Philly Union or whatever they're called. But anyway, what else we got, Damon? Brian Bobbitt asks, how has Lourdes Gurriel been good defensively? Is it more his routes to the ball or the jumps he's getting? I don't know. Honestly, I think I think one thing has been the jumps that he's getting. I really feel like, and they brought this up on the broadcast at one point, that his defensive plays to the right always seem to be much better than when he's going towards, I think, essentially center field. Like the other way, like to his left. Yeah. So like, but like at times with like Alec Thomas being able to cover so much ground out there and such, like I feel like he's able to kind of focus more on his strengths out there and less on his, on that. But I don't know. I mean, I think too, he is playing with some really good defensive outfielders. I think sometimes, not that it's infectious, but you kind of have to play harder to keep up with your teammates.
Outside
and,
of Alec, I guess he statistically is the best defense.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And I mean, obviously that's kind of what he's asking is like, how is he?
I mean, Jesse and I were talking about this before, right? Like, it's like he's not like a Gold Glover.
And I mistakenly said yesterday that he had won a Gold Glove, and I realized afterwards he was a Gold Glove finalist. He has not actually won a Gold Glove. So,
but yeah, he's good, but he's not. It's not like he's out here, He's not Alec Thomas. I don't think that.
No. You wouldn't want to see Lourdes play center field. It wouldn't be great.
And I still get a little nervy when balls get hit out to him.
But he does have a great arm.
Yeah,
potentially one of the best arms.
He's the best arm on the team
on the outfield, right?
Yeah, he absolutely has the best arm in the outfield.
He might as well be the only one with an arm in the outfield.
looking at some of the StatCast numbers, his reaction this year is the best that it's ever been. His 0.7 above average. I believe that would be measured in it might be feet, I think is how they measure that, digging into some of the StatCast numbers. But yeah, that's above average, the best it's ever been. His routes this year actually grade out slightly worse. But yeah, that reaction appears to be the thing that has jolted him to be a better defender. We're looking at some of his catches this year, and by catch probability, the best one of the season was actually the diving play to his right yesterday. We talked in yesterday's show about the two nice plays that Lourdes made in that game. And the first one of the two, I believe it was, going to his right, he made a diving play that had a 55% catch probability. So not outrageous, not like a 10% catch probability. It wasn't a 5-star catch or anything, but a nice play. And Lourdes has made his share of those plays this season.
It's funny that you mentioned like his routes, because it does seem a lot of times that like he makes things a little more difficult than they need to be, and then they end up looking like really good catches, because like the one that we watched before where he ended up like jumping at the wall, and it was like he probably didn't really need to do all that.
Yeah.
And it looks like crazier than it was. But it's not really related, but also like it was funny last night at Sunday Night Baseball. You had that one when Corbin was mic'd up and the ball got hit out to left center, and Lourdes ended up making the play, but Corbin didn't say like anything the whole time. Like they were both running to left center, and Corbin didn't say a word. And then all of a sudden you hear after Lourdes catches it.
That was funny.
Oh, that didn't seem like that was a little alarming, but yeah, I don't really know what the deal is with Lourdes. It's a very interesting outfield, but he's pretty good, man.
Side note to that story: stop miking up our outfielders in important, pivotal games also, here down the stretch.
Can
we
Corbin.
not do that?
I love Corbin, But Corbin is not the kind of guy to be miking up in the middle of the game.
He's way too focused. Yeah,
He's
like,
not gonna give you anything.
He actually gave much better answers than I thought he was going to.
But still,
because you could tell he's like completely focused on the game, and you're sitting here.
And also,
that's a lot to ask.
I get why they choose outfielders, but like at one point I was watching Sunday Night Baseball with the Sox, and they had Tristan Casas mic'd up, and like it's much cooler when they're at like first base, because at one point I think they were playing I think it was the Cardinals, and I think I think it was the Padres, and Machado wasn't playing very well. And Machado gets to first base, and they like ask him for his jersey. And so Casas asked Machado for his jersey, and he's like, "You can have it. I haven't been hitting well in this." And it's like moments like that where they're interacting with each other. Corbin's sitting out in center field just alone, when Corbin by himself is not necessarily the most like exuberant guy.
Look, just send a camera crew to go follow Joey Votto around, and you'll get gold.
It is funny because like,
all the time.
Saying that, I don't know that Christian Walker would have necessarily been the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
It's just hard. I mean, in a very important game like that, I was kind of surprised they did any. I mean, maybe talk to the managers, talk to Zach Gallen when he's not pitching. You know, that sort of thing is fine.
Yeah.
But
it is also,
to go to the center fielder and be like, "Hey, we want to mic you up," like
in the middle.
It is also tough though, because if you're gonna mic someone up, you look at this team, you go to the center infielders, and it's like neither of them have speak the best English, and you go to left field and
mic them up in the dugout. Mic them up in the dugout when they're on offense.
That makes more sense.
Ultimately, I'm surprised that the players were even willing to do it. Like that seems like the kind of thing Corbin would be like, "I've got a game to play."
I feel like I brought up my own Mailbag Monday question with this one, but anyway, what's the next question we got here? Chris at Sir Gorilla asks, in the news of winning times being canceled, what MLB team and era would you want to see a dramatic biopic series based off of? Why not the Arizona Diamondbacks 2001 World Series team? We already casted that movie. We could just move this cast. Look at, here's our cast. This is our cast.
Kiefer Sutherland as Kurt Schilling is money.
Oh yeah,
that's the best casting.
And you know he's super method and super into it, so he'd go on and gain like just enough weight in his face to really fill that out and really look like him. I'm proud of all of these, but Bob Brenly, Tom Selleck. I mean, come on, that stash.
Chris Tucker is a good one for Tony Womack.
Yeah, and Chris Diamantopoulos as Luis Gonzalez. There literally is no better. There is no better casting there. I know Sam Elliott is old, but find me a better Randy Johnson. I don't know. I mean, Sam Elliott. It maybe get in his Wayback Machine and get Sam Elliott from 1985. I don't know, but I definitely would love to see a Jerry Colangelo just running in there angry. Like stomping on the dreams of the rest of the ownership staff, like just to tell them like that they need to actually build a winner. Like, yeah, it could be completely over dramatized and like not actually what really happened, but just Jerry Colangelo like slamming his fist down on a boardroom table and being like, put your hopes and dreams aside. You need to build a goddamn winner for Phoenix. Like that kind of thing. I don't know if any of these things happen, but what other teams? Any other Major League Baseball teams you'd want to see this? I
mean, there's a handful of like somewhat recent ones that I think are kind of like, I think the 16 Cubs is.
I was gonna say the Cubs is
an obvious one.
Yeah,
I think I know how people have responded to this, but I think bias aside, I think the Sox after the Boston bombing would be a fascinating, team to follow. Between David Ortiz is like, this is my fucking city, and then they went on to win World Series.
Or 04.
What's that?
Or 04 as well.
Well, yeah, the 04 one would be crazy. I think, and this not specifically a team, but just the steroid era home run race, like following those guys would be fascinating. But as far as the Diamondbacks are concerned, I think the 01 is pretty obvious there.
Yeah.
Just from their inception, from their birth in '98 through that 01 season, I think that would be a lot of fun to watch. I just don't know if there'd be that big of interest in it. There's not that big of interest in the Lakers and their seasons, which actually is a really good show. Everybody should watch.
Other thing you got to consider, you need teams with like characters on it.
Yeah,
like I don't know
the Big Red Machine, Cincinnati Reds back that
like. There's
era.
Plenty of individuals that would make very fascinating like characters in this. Like I don't know why, but like Ozzie Guillen would be just in something like this would be amazing.
What about the steroid era of baseball?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the home run race is like if you're getting like Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, and stuff like this, then
you can actually get the facts correct and actually reveal all of the stuff.
Well, yeah,
that
or
happened,
you
right?
get to be a little Hollywood with it, and you get to see Sammy Sosa fucking jabbing up and stuff like that. Like,
oh my god!
Like, I mean, from like a Hollywood kind of entertainment perspective, Like that, I think is the most like you're like, because when you think about the steroid era, like it is like these guys were like it's a pretty big. I mean, I get everyone was doing it, but like it's a pretty big choice to start fucking cheating.
Yeah, like
it would be very fascinating to kind of follow these guys through that. Watch basically the entire league get taken over by steroids.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the entire like performance enhancing drugs thing throughout baseball has always been, odd. Reading books about players describing, greenies in like a candy dish and the, amphetamines in a candy dish in the clubhouse and things like that. Like, I think the older, the farther you go back to a time where baseball almost seemed like completely lawless and such during like the 60s and 70s. There's so many interesting things, and baseball had such a pivotal role in a lot of things historically. Obviously, you have great, Jackie Robinson and all of that, but the 70s in baseball just seems like a weird era.
If we're getting like really
you have a guy that threw a no-hitter while on LSD, right?
Dude,
like, there's some weird shit that happened in baseball.
Like, I think we are looking at this from a little bit too positive a perspective. Like stuff like Pete Rose betting on betting on baseball games, or
that's why
if we're going way back, like the Black Sox scandal, like shit like that. What I think would be super interesting. And again, Red Sox tilt. Terry Francona getting fired in one of the worst like September collapses of all time. Like I think stuff like that would be really interesting. Like
there has to be some drama.
Yeah, there has to be some falling apart.
We'll just make up drama. It's like he said, winning time was not factual.
That's
and yes,
fair.
You could just do what you want because it's a show.
The 80s Mets doing crack cocaine.
Well, yes. You get stuff like that when you get stories of like not even just the Mets, but like in general, you got guys going out like to have sex under the bleachers and shit like that. Like you got guys eating hot dogs and smoking cigars in the dugout. Like baseball was, like you said, the wild west.
There's so many stories you hear about the way baseball was that by today's standards is completely unacceptable for any sport to have.
For fucking society to be operating in society. Like there's no situation in which you.
Yeah.
In the 80s, you didn't get to have an office job and be having sex in the bathroom and maybe and doing coke in the. I guess I wasn't allowed. Maybe I'm just off
where you work. There's a lot of places that was acceptable.
You missed out, bud.
Because David knows. David was around.
David definitely knows. Brent, yes, it was Doc Ellis that threw that no hitter on LSD. Wild times. All right, last question in the mailbag comes from Don's Bread, because we haven't had a ridiculous Don's Bread question in a while. And Don's Bread asks, The Rock recently came back to SmackDown. Let me do that better. The Rock came back to SmackDown, and he wants to know what D-back player would have the same effect coming back for this wagon run into the playoffs. Woof.
Mark Melanson.
No, that's absolutely not the answer, and you can get the fuck out now. You get up, take your computer with you, take the snake, and leave. The answer is JD Martinez. That's the answer. Is JD Martinez coming back?
His name did. I mean, there's just something about what he accomplished in the second half of that 2017 season that no one's. I mean, there's no player that has ever given the Diamondbacks the kind of second half jolt, or late season jolt that JD. I think it was around this time of year in 2017 that JD Martinez hit 4 home runs in a game at Dodger Stadium.
That's correct.
Yeah,
it was wild.
If we're like, I think Randy is the most obvious answer, especially if we're talking about wrestling, where like
a champion returning,
if this is UFC,
a legend,
for example, like The Rock can't still compete at that level, but with the WWE being what the WWE is, like he could still.
Have you not seen The Rock lately? That man is just 8 feet wide.
Well,
of muscle.
yeah, but I'm saying you could do that in the WWE. You can't be. It doesn't matter how physical shape you are. You can't be 45 years old.
I am getting HR.
But if we're getting Randy, and Randy still can contribute because we're not talking about real baseball necessarily, then like
ring me.
Yeah,
like
I want my ring right now.
I want Randy Johnson.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
I think Paul Goldschmidt's also a good answer there. I like that answer from Gabriel.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we thank you guys for being here in the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Of course, we also thank you guys for being diehards. Those of you that are diehards, and of course, we will free Brett. Make sure to drop a like. We will not forget about you, Brett. But of course, if you haven't signed up for a diehard membership yet, make sure to do so at gophnx.com. Get all sorts of benefits, including a free piece of merchandise from the PHNX locker. You get 20% off all future purchases over there. You get all sorts of wonderful benefits with our partners, our sponsors. You get access access to our members-only Discord lounge. You get Jesse's, all of Jesse's content. You get all of the content from our wonderful writers around here and so much more. And, of course, exclusive discounts, exclusive merchandise, and just our love and gratitude for being part of the PHNX family. So make sure to do that. And also, not a lot of Diamondbacks games left here in the season, right? We got 2 against the Giants and then 3 more against the Astros. So if you want to check out one of those 5 games before the season ends, make sure to get your tickets through Game Time. Game Time is the place for last-minute ticket deals. And, of course, if you want to wait to make sure you have everything clear, Game Time is the place to buy your tickets. It's the fastest growing ticketing app in the country for a reason, and that is because it is built for us procrastinators to get those deals at the last minute. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Well, we thank you guys again so much. Make sure to check out that series again. Get your tickets through Game Time to go see the Diamondbacks play those Giants. It's a really important 2-game series. In the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter. I am at cap_caveman with a K. This maniac next to me is at Shawn_DePaz. Jesse is at Jesse N. Friedman. The people's producer, Damon, he is at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. Of course, we are Damon's dogs. You can follow our show at PHNX D-backs, but of course, all roads do lead to at PHNX sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you again for your time. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it is so much more fun when you beat the Cubs.